Hey there, I'm Danny Zemer, and I want to tell you about my video series here I'm putting together, and it's called Grounded-ish. Grounded-ish is my reflection on living with bipolar disorder for the last 40 years, bipolar 1. And in this series, what I'll be doing, a number of things. I will talk about my own experience with bipolar disorder as it relates to posts I see or feeds I see on sites like Reddit and Facebook groups, from specific sites around bipolar disorder and comments that seem like they're popular threads. I will also interview folks who are high functioning bipolar, excuse me. I consider myself a high functioning bipolar person, and my series is really about mastering and really just functioning effectively and functioning well in mainstream society, living with bipolar disorder. As I stated, I'm 56 years old. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was 16, back in 1986, long time ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, right? So I've done this for 40 years and I've taken a slew of different meds, have had varying degrees of success, and also really big challenges where I had deep depressions and bad hypomania. Never really got manic since I was first hospitalized back in 1986, 1989. Haven't had real mania since then. Although that's not true because I did quit my meds about 6 years ago. I quit my meds during COVID, thinking I could kind of pull it off. I'll share about that in a different video. But I got manic and it was ugly. And it was only a short-lived experience, but I recommend highly against that. I recommend staying on your meds. So anyway, I'm Danny Zemer. I'm 56. I'm originally from California. I now live in Massachusetts. I'm married for about 12 years. I have a 14-year-old son, so you can do the math there between the marriage and the child. And I have a job. I have a career that I've had overall really for about 30 years. I'm also clean and sober for 29 years, actively going to 12-step meetings and participating in that community as well. But really, these videos are about my experience with bipolar disorder. So let's get started. Today's Reddit thread is asking, how serious would you say bipolar disorder is, specifically bipolar 1? The answer from me, from my own experience, is very serious. You got to take care of this. You got to stay on top of it. There are a lot of resources out there, and I want to talk about a few of them right now. The first one, I think, for me, in order of priority, is probably sleep. I actually wrote a book about what I call the STEM system, which stands for sleep, therapy, 80s new wave music, meetings, and medication. And of those five things, they're kind of like, for me, kind of like paramount, kind of basic building blocks for living with bipolar disorder. I'd say sleep is really the most important. Meds are super important too, as is therapy, all of it. Meetings, which can be like group therapy, or in my case, sometimes 12-step meetings, but also group therapy is wonderful. So for me, sleep is paramount. I struggle with sleep, honestly. Last night was a tough night for me. My mind was racing. I'm filming my first YouTube video today, which is a little scary, a little vulnerable. I put up a sheet behind me. I'm sitting in my loft office in my condo here in Massachusetts, in the suburbs in Ashland. And it's a little nerve-wracking, frankly. I've been doing some research and have been planning this day out to make this video for quite some time. And, last night was a tough night sleeping because my head was spinning about different ideas, things I want to do, how I want it to look, etc., which, of course, from my experience at least, doesn't usually pan out, all the plans I make the night before. I do have a tendency to kind of like write notes on my phone. I'll pull my phone next to me on the bed and I'll write notes in the actual Notes app on the iPhone. But in general, I can tell you that sleep is so important. I generally sleep pretty well. I generally get, 8, 9, or 10 hours per night. I'd say once or twice a week. That fluctuates. Maybe even 3 times a week sometimes, where I get 4 or 5 hours, or occasionally, probably once or twice a month, I get no hours. I stay up all night because I'm tweaking. I get out of bed, get on my computer, go downstairs and work on my computer, planning things out for my videos and whatever else is going on in my life. So Sleep is super important as far as how serious bipolar disorder is. I think also, if I were to pick one other thing that's super kind of rudimentary, basic, I'd say the meds. Medication is really, really tough for bipolar disorder. There are so many different drugs out there. I've taken a lot of them. I'm not going to use this video format to get into my meds and what works for me because everyone is different. I think people who are bipolar or who are not clinicians, who are licensed to do so, giving medical advice online, be it on a YouTube video or on a Facebook group or whatever, is really, really dangerous. I think that everyone is different. We all have our own body chemistry and our own needs that vary tremendously. I think it's really important to work with a licensed psychiatrist and to find the right medication for you. And I know that that can be a real pain in the ass. You know, it's challenging, and there's a lot of what I call guinea pigging. You know, just trying different things out and seeing what works. A lot of it is seeing what doesn't work, experiencing all kinds of horrible side effects like sleep deprivation and hypomania and deep depression and anxiety and OCD, and even having side effects that even feel like other mental health issues because they probably are. So I feel for you if you're struggling to find the right meds, but please, please don't not take meds if you're bipolar. Don't quit your meds. Don't switch up the dosages on your own or make changes to your schedule on your own. Work with a psychiatrist closely. Work with your shrink. I've had a lot of psychiatrists in my 40 years living with bipolar disorder, starting when I was 16 in 1986. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for it. So I'd say that really for me, how serious bipolar disorder is, super serious. It is life and death. There are a lot of us who don't stick with it, right? I'm sure you know that already from reading threads and looking at other social media stuff, and maybe even just having personal experience with friends and family or people that you've heard about. A lot of us can't stick it out and don't stick it out, and that's a really, really tragic thing. There is hope. There is opportunity for us to be successful, to be a functioning member of society, or at least to keep our stuff together so that we're able to have some hope and have some dreams and try to fulfill those things, even if we can't get a job and hold a job or have a family or whatever like I've got going on. I'm blessed. I'm really fortunate, but I've done a lot of work in therapy and with the other aspects of my STEM system I mentioned, and also a lot of other things I do and have done. So I'd say if you're struggling with bipolar disorder and you want to know how serious bipolar disorder 1 is, my answer is super serious. Take it seriously and do the things you need to do to address it and get better. There is hope. There's opportunity for growth, opportunity for joy and fulfillment and usefulness in society and feeling like you're a productive member of society, paying taxes and being what I call grounded-ish. You know, that's my theme for my videos here. Pulling it off, being able to pull it off and function and do the deal with society. So anyways, that's my video for you. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.